Yo, welcome to episode 28 of Directly to You of Redirect Podcast. I am AJ of Redirect, and this week I was joined by another good friend and DTY vet, Fried Biscuits, who's back on the show this week to help me look back on the first 6 months of Nintendo Switch 2, our first couple of days with Metroid Prime 4, and Netflix's bid to buy Warner Brothers. Full transparency, I had to cut a lot out of this conversation for the sake of time in a streamlined episode, but if you're interested in checking out the full nearly 3-hour long version where we talked about the Steam machine, physical games, Pokemon gameplay, and much more, you can do that by becoming a 4-bit member or above at shop.watchredirect.com. Okay, on to the episode. It's been 6 months of Nintendo Switch 2, and I've been playing so many games on this. And I wanted to talk about the first 6 months of this console in a vacuum, but also I wanted to compare it to the original Nintendo Switch, because I think there's a lot of like narratives that don't line up in my head. Like, as somebody that I cover Nintendo Switch 2 now, and I was covering Nintendo Switch 1 then. So it just feels weird that people are like talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 like it's a desert compared to Switch 1, and I wanted to compare notes on that as well.
I think also like yeah, I'm looking back too right now. It's crazy. I when the Switch 1 came out, I played like 2 games and that was it.
Yeah.
Or 3 games really.
What were the
that was it.
So was it Breath of the Wild?
Yeah,
I'm sure that
absolutely.
was there. I don't know if you're a Splatoon guy or not. So I don't know if I'm guessing Splatoon 2. Mario Kart?
No.
Not Mario Kart? Did you have a Wii U?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
I don't want to get it.
Would I be able to guess the the other two?
Do you know what kind of games I like?
You like shooters, you like MMO sort of situations. RPGs. Yeah. Oh, Xenoblade. Did you play Xenoblade?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, Xenoblade 2. And then eventually
did you play Octopath?
Mario.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Mario.
Honestly.
I don't know how I forgot that came out that year.
Yeah, dude. That was the only 3 games I played.
That's crazy.
And I was fun. Well, also to be fair, when the Switch came out, I was like playing that at work. Because like I was on a boat all day, so that's all I can do is play portable games.
Gotcha.
So the Switch was freaking perfect.
When did you get the Switch? Like, did you get the Switch at launch, like in March when it came out, or did you wait a little bit?
I waited a little bit. I think I got it like 3 months after launch.
Okay, so yeah. I got it at launch. I have it pulled up on here. I played too many games to list the games that I played. And
actually, I'm sorry to cut you off, but funny thing is, the reason I delayed it is because I was already playing Breath of the Wild on the Wii U.
That's funny. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I just ignored Wii U. Once Nintendo dropped Wii U in 2016, they're like, something else is happening, man. We're not making no more games for that. I was like, okay. I was like, GG's on the Wii U. So I had never even seen Breath of the Wild playing on the Wii U. I don't even know what it...
That was my first experience with Breath of the Wild.
So the Breath of the Wild, when you played it on Switch, is it any different? Like,
well, it's full HD, I think, or close to it at least.
Well, was it on Wii 720?
Yeah, it was 720 on the Wii.
Okay.
720.
So I played. I don't know if I talked to you about this, but when I first got ZA, I got Legend ZA through Mega Man, and I was trying to cheese it a little bit, because getting games through Narnia is a little cheaper because their dollar sucks. But for whatever reason, the Switch 2 upgrades, the Switch 2 editions are more money. And it's like $2 more or something like that. But I was like, hey, if I could, like, I already have, because every month I get Nintendo Switch eShop money. I just deposit like $100 because I know I'm going to buy games for the month to talk about. And I already had eShop credit on my account, so I was like, I'll just buy the Switch 2 edition upgrade on my regular account, and I'll get the game through getting vouchers in Narnia. And when I did that, I assumed that I was going to be able to use it that day when it came out in New Zealand, but it didn't work that way. It didn't
Oh,
download the Switch 2 edition until the game came out in America. So
really?
yeah, so like I could have waited, and I did.
Wait, I wonder what would have I wonder what would have happened if I got, because like these games like ZA and Metroid, I didn't, I have the Guru. I go for a day early if I
Yeah,
really want, right? But with the Switch 2 version, would I have to wait to download that version?
no.
'Cause-
No,
Oh, it's
so
on here.
yeah, it's on there. So that's why that happened that way is because I got the American. Essentially, it's two separate games that I bought, and
Yeah.
like if I would just wanted to play it when it came out in America, everything would have been fine. If it was like, okay, I got the New Zealand copy for whatever. If I just wanted to save money, if I didn't care about the extra day, because that's why I do it. It's not even because of which I ended up spending additional money because I got the New Zealand upgrade so that I could play the Switch 2 version. I say all of that to say I played the Nintendo Switch 1 version of ZA for like the first like 4 hours of me playing the game.
Mhm.
And like it's playable, like it works, but it's definite. It was like a night and day difference, and that's more or less what I'm asking. Whereas like when you played it on Switch, was it like, whoa, this is like way different, or is it just kind of different from Wii U to Switch on Breath of the Wild?
It was similar, but like just I guess it would be the frame rate was a bit better
Mm,
on the Switch,
gotcha.
which is crazy. And then also it was more clear. And also obviously because it was freaking portable. That's the only thing like that was like the
So it
difference.
was more a form factor thing.
Yeah, definitely. But also the other thing too is like the Wii U, I feel like they missed an opportunity too, but I kind of get why Nintendo wouldn't
Because they
do
didn't
it.
use dual screen stuff for Breath of the Wild. Like they didn't put the
Yeah,
map on. Yeah.
it would have been fucking perfect for it.
Yeah. I think they canned it because it was like whenever we saw the game ahead of time, they had the map on the gamepad. But once they decided to port it to Switch, they canned it.
Yeah, the only thing that did was switch the game to your screen, and that was it. It
Yeah.
was
I think that that's also a thing that's weird about the way people talk about Switch 2 right now is because they give the original Nintendo Switch credit for games that are cross-gen, but they don't give the Switch 2 credit for games that are cross-gen. And I get like in theory it's like, oh well, most people didn't have a Wii U, but what about the people that did? Like I had a Wii U, and the Mario Kart is still a thing that gets counted in these arguments where it's like, oh, well, I like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe way more than I like Mario Kart World. And it's like, hey, well, I would hope so because that's a game that on top of having what 4 years of DLC or whatever, it also
mm,
had additional content on and added on to that. So it was like a game at the end of its life cycle with a deluxe version. That's apples to oranges. Like if we look at Mario Kart World right now and what they've done since that came out, they're already updating the game in pretty substantial ways, and it's not even DLC yet.
oh yeah, I haven't really been playing Worlds. I haven't been playing it.
I haven't played World in a while, but it's less because I was talking to Colton about this last week on the podcast. It's less because I don't want to, and more because there's just other games to play, and my friends are playing other stuff. Like right now, I when I first got my Switch 2, my friend Wes and Ben and Zay, we all got Switch 2s around launch, and we would be like, "Yo, let's play Switch 2." Now they're on 2K, they're on NBA 2K, they're in that cycle. So they're not trying to play Mario Kart World. They're playing 2K. So it's less a thing
Fair.
that's like I don't want to play Mario Kart, and more I don't have a group of people that wants to play Mario Kart. And I think that that's the case with a lot of stuff that like the other things that the internet is wants to hate. Like I like Dragon Drive. I would play Dragon Drive if other people also wanted to play Dragon Drive. I think the game's
I
fun.
didn't I didn't buy Dragon Drive.
I think the game's fun. Me and Trev played it. Me and Trev, and then separately, me and Colton played it for the demo. But I don't think it's modular enough to be able to like have as much fun if you only have one or two other people. Like that game is for if you have a squad, and I think that it would be a lot of fun if people just stop bought less into the online narrative, because it's a $20 game. Like literally all it takes for me to be like, or would have taken, is somebody to show interest in wanting to play it, and I would buy it for them. Like again, $20. That's
I
a
mean, 20. Yeah, 20 is
that's a
not.
movie
Is not
ticket.
bad. But uh, I think the reason I didn't buy it because I didn't like the way the game controls. I don't like it.
I like it. It's fun. It's kind of like
Dra-
the way I look at it is kind of like how I looked at Star Fox Zero, where people were like mad about Star Fox Zero and how that controlled on the gamepad, and it's like almost like a competitive sort of mindset of like, I can't. This isn't optimal control, and the way I look at that game is like an arcade game. It's like an amusement park attraction. It's like the wacky controls is part of it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about Dragon Drive, where it's like the goofy controls is part of the experience. It's like WarioWare, it's like Mario Kart, it's like Wii Sports, in that kind of way. So that's part of it for me. And also,
I like the WarioWare games.
I want games to be more than just copies of each other. Like, I don't like the fact that every shooter, the control scheme is trying to be Call of Duty. Like, I think that that's so much of gaming is people find a game that they like and they're like, I want every game to be at least a little bit this game. And I think that games like Dragon Drive, that's like, I'm gonna do something entirely different.
I do want to. There are shooters that like to just like control, make the games like Call of Duty, 100%. But not all shooters are like that.
I don't think all of them are. Yeah.
On console, at least, there should be better alternatives for shooters. At least there's one, but it's an extraction shooter, and that's really not for everybody.
Yeah. I think extraction shooter, like, even that is another example of what I'm talking about. Because an extraction shooter is like, okay, then you're just trying to be like Siege or whatever, right? Like, or like you're trying to be Call of Duty, you're trying to be Counter-Strike, or you're trying to be Siege or Rainbow Six.
Well, no. This is a different genre,
right?
Of shooter.
I thought Rainbow Six was a extraction shooter thing, but
Rainbow would be more like Counter-Strike.
Oh, okay.
But like more Call of Duty like control. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Call of Duty like controls with like special abilities.
More or less, I'm saying like games like to establish these buckets, and then gamers are like, well, if this game that is sort of similar in certain ways doesn't play like the other game that's in that bucket that is similar to, it's not as good or whatever. And it's like,
Well, I don't. I wonder how the new Call of Duty did though.
What do you mean? Like control or sales?
Sales wise,
it sounds like here Battlefield and Call of Duty are relatively close, and that's not that's not good for Call of Duty. It's good for Battlefield though. Battlefield's doing all right.
I guess that's good.
This is a tangent. I mean, that was a tangent.
It's very much a tangent.
But
yeah.
to put us back on course a little bit, I want to look at least performance in terms of like comparing them back side by side. Nintendo, wait, let me pull up the IGN article. I don't think IGN put the total sales of the console. They put games, but
which are you looking at, the Zelda article?
Did I put it in here? Yeah. Switch, the Switch one 6 months later IGN article with Breath of the Wild sales. It has the software sales for the games, but it doesn't have the total sales of Nintendo Switch itself, I don't think.
Well, eventually, didn't Mario Kart 8 like outsell Zelda?
Yeah, but this is again 6 months. This is 6 months in. So if you look at it, it has the sales on the IGN article. Breath of the Wild was the top selling game at the 6 month marker, and it sold 4.7 million copies. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 4.4. And obviously Breath of the Wild came out at launch. So yeah, it was Mario Kart was outpacing it even then. And then to round out the rest of the games, it was Splatoon 2 at 3.6 million, 1-2 Switch at 1.3 million, and then ARMS at 1.3 million. So that was the top 5 games. And then if we look at, which I don't, again, like I said, I don't have the total unit sales. I could probably find it and maybe insert it in the description or something if people really care that much after the fact. But in terms of what we have apples to apples, and for context, like because of when Switch 1 launched versus when Switch 2 launched in the year, we don't have the same amount of time tracked as we did with Nintendo Switch 1 because this came out in June and that came out in March. But the two games that they have the total numbers on their page for right now, the best selling games at Mario Kart World, which is a bundle for what it's worth, for at 9.57 million units, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza at 3.49 million. So the best selling game is more than double what the best selling game was on Nintendo Switch 1.
Also, I think the Switch 2 outpaced the Switch 1 in the first 6
Yeah, it
months
did.
of
I just
sales.
don't know what the exact number is.
I think it's double. I think it's double.
Let's see if we can find that. Nintendo Switch first 6 month sales. So as of September 30th, 2017, which is about 6 months after it came out in March, the Switch 2, I mean the Switch 1's total was 7.63 million. So about what, 20-ish% less? Because Switch 2 is at 10 million.
Okay.
So even at that, right, it's like, yeah, like 9.5. And I also think that is kind of crazy to even, because I know people are going to try to do that mental gymnastics of like Mario Kart World's a bundle, and it's like,
okay. I think it's gonna. I think the Switch 2 is gonna sell a decent amount, but I think at some point it's gonna slow down.
I think it depends on a lot of different factors. I could see it slowing down if it has a shorter life cycle. I could see it slowing down if it doesn't have as cheap of a SKU as Switch eventually had with Switch, which even that I don't even know if it is a factor, come to think of it, because the best selling SKUs of Switch 1 were the most expensive ones. So I don't even really
just,
know if it'll be that. It just, I don't know. I couldn't say.
Honestly, I just think the Switch 1 also had a huge boost during lockdown.
Yeah,
It had a huge boost.
That's true. But
it was a cheap console to get, though, the entry console.
Even that, I just don't know, because like before Switch, like coming into Switch, people were like, oh, well, first of all, even before, let's go 2019, before like after people accepted it's not going to be Wii U again. A lot of people were calling me crazy because I was like, I think that Switch is going to sell more than Wii. It sold significantly more than Wii now, but back then it was like, it's not even going to do that. And for that reason, I'm hesitant to say for sure that this couldn't sell more than Switch. I think that it's going to, be within striking distance. I think it'll at least hit 100 million. And given the difference in price, it's going to be a more successful console just based off of that. I don't know if it's going to maintain fastest selling. Like, yeah, I think that would be pretty crazy because COVID, like you said. But I also don't know if another COVID is impossible either at this rate.
I'm not saying it's not going to be successful though.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
The Switch is going to sell a lot,
right?
I don't know if it's going to pass the Switch 1. I have no. I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't say. I
can't really say.
I don't know if I don't buy that it could, but I don't know that I think that it will, if that makes sense. Like to me, it's like, I think if the Nintendo Switch era has taught me anything, it's that most of these like gamer and like even like gaming analysts and pundits and stuff like that, all of those like, this is impossible and this will never happen again and blah, all that is bullshit. Because literally all of those things were slashed in this era and before COVID. Like it's not even related to COVID. Most of the successes of Switch, really the biggest stories related to COVID for Switch is Animal Crossing. I mean, it's kind of just Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And then the consoles that Animal Crossing itself sold. And then there's spillover from that where it's like, well, I got Animal Crossing, I have this console. Some of those people are going to go and buy other things. And then that buys them in. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
even with that, I think that that might even still have an effect on Switch 2. Like there's going to be people that even if they don't buy the next Animal Crossing for the same reason that they did when it was COVID, and it's like, well, you know, this is a thing to do, and very like Barbenheimer esque with the Doom thing, and there's going to be people that have nostalgia for that time, and they buy Animal Crossing because of that nostalgia.
Okay.
So I could see a lot of different ways where it could do better, just as good or worse, but we can't really say for now. We kind of just gotta wait to see like how the console's selling. Honestly, like 2 years in, because if it doesn't slow down at that point, I don't see a drastic turn down unless they slow down in the games that they release for it, and that's really just how they look at the value of it, you know? Because like the
Hmm.
thing, like if they do the PlayStation thing, where coming off of PlayStation 3, they were like pretty bullish and like trying to make sure that they had games that's like you buy a PlayStation 4 for this game. This is why you buy it. They don't want to be like the machine that like people don't buy because Xbox has the Call of Duty deal and they have Halo 3 and all that. They wanted those things for PlayStation 4. But coming off of PlayStation 4 into PlayStation 5, they're a lot more lax because it's like, well, we're the default console now. We're like if people buy an Xbox, a lot of especially like in America and in the UK, if you buy an Xbox, people are and Japan, like Xbox doesn't even really exist there. But if you buy an Xbox or not a PlayStation, and in these circles, it's like you're made fun of just because of the, you know, the console that you buy. It doesn't even matter what games it has. It's the logo, it's the controller, it's the built up reputation around that. So if Nintendo falls down that trap and they're like, well, what are you gonna do? Not buy a Switch 2? I could see them also faltering and selling slower as a result of that too.
But I mean, I'm looking at like stuff right now, like my play activity throughout the years.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, dude. This, I mean, at least this year with this, I've played a good chunk of Switch 2 games.
Which
However,
Switch 2
there are
games did you
some
buy? Mhm.
there are some that were absolutely terrible. There wasn't a lot. It was like three that I played.
What were the terrible games?
All right, all right. Chilling by the fire.
Why
Terrible.
did you play that?
I got roped into it. I
Okay.
don't want to talk. It was an awful game. Okay, I'm not done though. It gets a bit worse. Survival Kids I played.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Not a fan.
I haven't played it. I haven't even seen it being played.
Those were the two games that actually. Those are the only two games I didn't like
Okay.
that much. The rest I played. There's a good chunk of games that I played.
I got to rapid fire through the games that I played because I played a lot, and I'm gonna exclude demos. So we talked about this a little yesterday. Matter of fact, I was playing it when you came into Discord yesterday.
Mhm.
Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I just got that yesterday. Metroid Prime
Yeah.
4, Assassin's Creed Shadow, Kirby Air Riders, Pokemon Legends EA, Little Nightmares 3, Hades 2, Lego Voyagers, Dragon Ball, the MMORPG. I mean, MMO, not MMORPG. Silk Song, that's a demo. Dragon Drive, Street Fighter 6, which I played on Xbox, but I also played it here. The playtest thing that I'm apparently not allowed to talk about. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Fortnite's on
Hmm.
here, but it's Fortnite. Mario Kart World,
Hmm.
Welcome Tour, and the Capcom Fighter Collection thing. They also
A
have the
lot of those
GameCube thing on here
games,
too.
like a lot of those games, are on different platforms. So right,
Yeah.
that you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes.
like now this is just my thing. I like to buy a lot of games on my computer because I don't I just it's what I do.
Yeah.
I like to buy it on because also Steam has a lot of sales,
Right.
so I wait for that. But the Switch 2, I think it has way more exclusive games right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it benefits from that because usually like conventionally that's why you buy, or at least since what, like Wii, at the very least, maybe even arguably GameCube. Like that's why you buy it, is because of the Nintendo thing, and you don't even really pay attention to the third party stuff. But in this regard, it's also a viable place to play these other games.
100%.
So it's like, just like people buy, like literally most people, especially in America, when they buy a new PlayStation, it's not because a new Naughty Dog game is coming out. It's because that's what they're going to play Madden on now. That's what they're going to play Call of Duty on now, you know? So it's kind of the same thing here, where it's like there are people that like Switch 2 is what they're going to play Madden on now, you know? And I had that experience for the first time in a while.
That's crazy.
I don't think
now
it
I'm
is.
Thinking about it.
What do you mean? Like crazy in a good or bad way?
I mean, in a good way.
Yeah.
A good way.
Because I don't think
like,
most people.
Also, I'm not a fan of like the 2K or a lot of the sports games.
Same.
Anymore.
Same.
But like, it's good that you can play it. You know.
Yeah. Because most of these people that are playing this are not people that even know what frames per second the video game is. Like they might know when they like. So my brother, right? He's somebody that's like that, which he plays a little bit more. Like he played Pokemon Legends EA because he likes Pokemon. But for the most part, the games he's playing. Well, he doesn't really play Call. He plays zombies, but he's playing Madden. He's playing 2K. He might play a PlayStation exclusive. Like that's the majority of what he's going to play. And when he's thinking about playing a game, it's not like, oh, it runs at 60 frames per second on this platform and it runs at this, you know. He might know it without knowing that he knows it in some ways, where it's like, oh, well, when I play it on Xbox, it feels different, you know. But they're not thinking of it in the same way that gamers on the internet think of it, where when they're like, oh, well, Digital Foundry says not to play it on that one because the frames dropped. And the frame pacing's bad. If I ask my brother what frame pacing is right now, he would have no idea. You know? And that's most people that play video games. And I think that like that's an underrated part of what's happening with Switch 2, because now it's within the margin of error that regular people aren't looking at it as like a substantially worse version, whereas Nintendo Switch, it was a lot more obvious that like Doom was not the same on Nintendo Switch as it was on Xbox and on PlayStation.
Are there like I haven't seen or like even like
playing any of those third-party games?
Yeah, on the Switch, I haven't seen it how it runs. I know
the original
Cyberpunk
Switch or Switch
actually runs pretty well.
So I have so the first game that I got, well, actually, technically, the first game that I got was Street Fighter. That was like that, where it's like, okay, this is a current gen game and it's playing on Nintendo Switch 2, and that works fine. Like I said, I played it on Xbox originally, and it feels like playing it on Xbox.
Oh, that's good.
So
that's very good.
That was my first impression on that. I played a little bit of the demo for Star Wars Outlaws, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And that made me want to get in with the Ubisoft Creators Program. Because usually, like, the third-party stuff, like, I ignore those for the most part because they don't usually make games that I care about for Nintendo platforms. And, like, I could get in those programs and play them on the other consoles, but I know I'm not going to make videos about that because I'm not going to be like, yo, Nintendo audience, this is the game that I played on my PlayStation. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. But now, again, that they're making these like competent ports on Switch 2, I was like, okay, yeah, let me get on the Ubisoft thing. So I got on the Ubisoft thing, and now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadow. I'll say Assassin's Creed Shadows, not bad port. It's not necessarily a bad port, but it's not as good of a port as the other ports that I've played, because I am in the opening hours of the video game. It has crashed on me 3 times. Apparently, that's a docked mode thing. I need to play it. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is, and I don't know if it's specifically where I'm at in the game that happens, but like to call back to them again, Digital Foundry, it said it's a good port. They said it's good. I don't know if they're complaining about it crashing, but it crashed literally 3 times. I got into. Have you played Assassin's Creed?
Experience may vary.
Yes. Have you played Assassin's Creed Shadow at all?
No.
Okay, so I got in you know how it has the dual protagonist situation?
Yeah.
So I got to the part where I did the first protagonist opening intro tutorial situation. I got to the second protagonist, and they're explaining to me stealth or whatever, and
Mhm.
they're like, you can attack people with kunai from far away, and I'm like, okay, bet. So I go and I attack with the kunai, and I go to the next building, and I'm starting to attack this other guy. It crashes. I'm like, okay, strike one, I
Dude,
guess. And I tweeted it like the first time they crashed. I was like, oh, this is weird. It crashed. And then I was like, hopefully this doesn't keep happening. I did it again. I went to that same spot. It crashed again. That time I
bro.
screenshot it and I posted it. It crashed. And then I want to say 5 minutes later, I got to that point again. It crashed again. I was like, I'm coming back to this game. Because Metroid just came out and I play Marvel Cosmic Invasion. There's all these other games that I want to play. I'm not bumping my head against the wall trying to make this game work.
Look, I'll be like straight up, like I'm not buying that game on anything
Yeah, that's fair.
because it's a Ubisoft trash game. I can't do it anymore.
That's the thing that's crazy to me because it's like Star Wars Outlaws is one of the biggest like Nintendo Switch 2 port success
Oh, yeah.
stories. Like that's what people point to. They point to that. They point to Cyberpunk to be like, yo, this is and they're starting to.
Oh, I
It's
heard
not
it
out
runs
yet,
great.
but people
Yeah,
are pointing
okay.
to Final Fantasy VII remake and Resident Evil Requiem. Those are two other games that are coming out that people are like, this is like a competent platform, you know.
Oh,
So I don't know.
there's
It's just
I'm
it was
all right,
whiplash.
dude.
It was whiplash.
This is where I kind of wish like I wish that I can buy like the game through something like a store on my computer where it can transfer to both the Switch and my
Yeah,
PC for like games like that because like I would love to use it as a portable freaking system, but
yeah.
like I don't Nintendo would never and
Why
in
would
all
they?
fairness,
Yeah, why
they
would?
wouldn't. But hear me out. Hear me out. What if they did it a store like that, but all the exclusives are only on the fucking Switch, but you can buy still through like the PC storefront or something like that? No. You would have to
But
still
how?
buy it
Yeah, how
twice.
would that translate? Because the thing
Yeah.
is, it's like nobody that's not like in the business of like just IP or not even
I think
necessarily IP
at
because
this point, I need to get a Steam Deck.
yeah,
I just got to get a Steam Deck, and certain games will be able. I'll just be able to transfer over to it.
I think that it makes a lot of sense for you to have a Steam Deck. I wish I didn't have a Steam Deck.
I I kid you not. I think it would be very dangerous because AJ, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Hold on. I have 451 games on Steam.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of games. I wonder how many are Steam Deck compatible.
So here's the thing. I know that that's the experience for a lot of people on Steam. It reads a little differently for me because like I don't know, I have like 200 Nintendo Switch games. You know, like so and I don't even play my other because of being a content creator. Like I don't even play my other platforms and I have like hundreds of games on those too. So,
I you know but my Switch got used. Like I play my Switch too,
mhm,
or and my Switch One. I played even like Undertale. I play games like Hades or Undertale and stuff like that on my Switch.
mhm.
But my PlayStation, my PS5, it was the biggest waste of money I've ever ever.
Same. Well, actually, no, that's not
Legit.
true. So far, the biggest waste of money for me has been my Steam Deck. I have legitimately played and finished one game on my Steam Deck since I bought it a year ago, and it was Dispatch. Every other game I started playing and it had some kind of like critical error, and I never touched it again. I like Dispatch was like my last ditch effort of like if you can't run this, I'm throwing this against a wall.
Well, the other thing too is all these like Sony exclusives come out to PC anyway.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with Xbox.
right.
So that's like I have not bought an Xbox since what was it 2013, 2014 since the Xbox One came out.
Right.
When did it come out?
2012 or 2013. I think it was 2012 because it was the year after Wii U, I think.
It was the last time I bought an Xbox. That was the last time.
That's fair. I
I had a
regret
PS4.
I regret buying them too, to be fair. Because like I mean, so I usually buy all three because I just care about the exclusives. I don't usually play third party games anyway. Like
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I play for the exclusives anyway. That's why
right, no,
I'm
but
gonna
I'm
buy a
saying
console
I don't
for.
usually play third party games like on any platform. Like there's very specific third party games that they might break through and interest me more than whatever the first party stuff that's going on, like the Street Fighters of the world. But for the most part, I don't usually buy and play third party games. Like even on Switch, like now with Nintendo Switch 2, I am playing these games because I just want to experiment with like why people like them. Because I generally don't care. Like, and I was the same way with like Wii U when they had Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty. I bought my first ever Call of Duty game and my last ever Call of Duty game to date. I bought Black Ops 2, I think that was.
So when Call of Duty comes to Switch 2, are you gonna buy it? Are you gonna play it
I don't know if I'm gonna buy it, but I'm gonna ask for a code. And
and try it out?
I'm gonna make a Nintendo gamer plays Call of Duty video. And I might
Dude, I hate I despise Call of Duty. I despise it with all my being. I
I
cannot stand that game.
I don't have a strong opinion. I used to not so I used to not well, I don't like Call of Duty. It's not something that I like hate, but it's not something that I like. A good way to describe it. But I have a decent amount of friends that like Call of Duty. And
I like shooters. I love shooters. In Call of Duty, I played the shit out of it. Like Call of Duty 1, 2. I played 3, regrettably, 4. And um great games, Black Ops Warfare 2. And then eventually I just stopped playing because the games just started to get extremely fucking repetitive. And then they're also coming out every goddamn year.
yeah. True.
And then I started getting into real shooters kind of thing. Like I started getting into shooters that like, they're like, this is the game for the next like
Yeah, like Counter
5,
Strike.
10 years.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the same. Like, can you imagine Smash was like this, right? Every year they release.
I'd hate that.
Smash Bros.
I'd hate that. But I think Smash is too far in the other direction. Like, I think the sweet spot for Smash would be like, I mean, I think I talked to you about it. I talk about this all the time. I think Smash Brothers should be a platform. It should be Fortnite. It should be like we get, which not as extreme as Fortnite, but it should be like we get Smash Brothers Nintendo Switch 2 version, and they update that for the entire life of Nintendo Switch 2. Instead of we get
battle passes,
not necessarily battle passes, but new content, new patches, new stages, just content for the life of the game. Instead of like it almost feels like
okay, but would they provide it for free, or would
some
you
of
have
it
to?
depends on what it is. Depends on what it is. Like if they're giving me new characters and stages, I think that's fair to pay for. And I think that certain cosmetics, like cosmetics, they're fair to pay for too. But it depends on what it is.
But can you imagine if Smash did a yearly release?
That would be ridiculous.
And not only that, but they actually change the fundamentals every time. Almost like they changed a lot, like with movement or whatever. Every new release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How annoying would that be?
Very.
That's why I don't play Call of Duty.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think I wouldn't get that deep. I literally, like I said, I'm gonna buy it once. I got like it's kind of like what happened with Fortnite on Switch 2, right? I'm in this whole pseudo beef with my friend Ben because when Fortnite came to Switch 2 and they upgraded it, I was like, well, I'm gonna play it. As a matter of fact, you're part of this beef. He doesn't like you. Not seriously. But so when Fortnite got the Switch 2 upgrade or whatever in the mouse mode and stuff like that, I was like, you get 2 Fortnites out of me. I'm playing this game 2 times and then I'm deleting it forever. Right? So when Bob was streaming Fortnite with you and Wood, That was one of the times. I was like, it's GG's. I was like, you got. I was like,
we took your fucking spot.
I was like, you got one more time, and then he took forever to redeem that one more time, and I took because it's a 70 GB game. I'm like, I don't play this. Why is this sitting on my SD card? So I deleted the game, and I was like,
so funny.
It's over. It's over for that. That's kind of what Call of Duty is gonna be.
You know what? You know what's so I played on my on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the only I deleted it off my Switch. I deleted it off.
That's fair. That's valid. You're playing on something else, so what's the point?
No, yeah, and that's a game I don't want to play portably anyway.
Yeah.
Like if there's no utility for me to play a port unless I was doing like the other modes.
The save the world mode or whatever. Is that? I don't even think that's on Switch. Is it?
That would be valid. What?
I don't even think that's on Switch. Is it? The save the world
no,
mode or whatever?
there's a lot of custom games.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah.
It's like a whole. There's so many freaking game modes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like I don't even. How do I describe it? At this point, because it's like Fortnite is there's the main game, but like there's also 30 different, not even like hundreds
like
of different games
like Lego Fortnite and Fortnite Racing and yeah. I went down the Lego Fortnite.
Shooter Fortnite. There's a tactical shooter Fortnite.
I had no idea that existed.
And it's like Counter-Strike. I mean, obviously it's always something copying something.
Yeah. That's their whole thing. But yeah, no, that's probably what it's going to be. Like when Call of Duty, because we know it's coming. When Call of Duty comes to Switch 2, I'm gonna get that 1 year, and there's a non-0% chance. Maybe I'll fall in love with it. Maybe the things that my friends see in Call of Duty, I see it and I'm like, yo, this game is amazing, and I'm buying every version. But I think that is an extremely low likelihood.
There'll be world peace too.
Yeah, let's see. If that's the thing that was keeping us from world peace is me being a Call of Duty fan, that's kind of insane. But I mean, you know what? I'll fall on that grenade for y'all. I'll do it. I've been trying to see this whole time how many freaking Switch games. I think I can see it in my virtual game cards. Yes. Wait. Give me a number.
What?
213 games.
On your Switch?
Yes. Switch games. Switch/Switch 2, I guess. So yeah,
I wonder how many. Okay, to be fair, I'm in a family thing where like I share games with 4 other people. And I know I have a lot of games, but I think there was like 100 games added, but I can play these games whenever I want.
Right.
As long as they're not playing the same game.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting number to figure out. I say all that to say, I don't play all these games.
No, I don't either.
I will say though, there's a lot of games that like so far, and I think that was like one of the strongest things about the first Switch is there was generally something exciting to play for the first year of the Switch. There was like, okay, this month is this game, this is Mario Kart month. And Switch 2 was more or less the same in that way. And it did a little bit of it got hit by the fact that so many people had Switch 1 in comparison to Wii U.
Dude, we got Bonanza.
Yeah, we got Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Bonanza is a phenomenal game.
So for me, one of those games that was like that took up a significant portion of my time in the early days of Switch, which was obviously in the early days, was Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't finish Tears of the Kingdom on Nintendo Switch. So the Switch 2 edition,
so nice on the Switch.
Yes,
it's
crazy. Because I was holding Ganon. I was like, I don't want to beat Ganon. I'm like not done with the game. I just want to mess around and do stupid stuff and experiment, right? And then it just came to a point where other stuff came out. I'm doing other things, and I just stopped playing the game. So then when Switch 2 came out, I was like, oh, this is a good excuse to finish this video game, and that's what I did. And I was like, yeah, this is incredible. And
dude, it's a smooth 60 FPS. I don't even think I got a single frame dip once.
It's a night and day experience.
It is a night and day. And here's the awesome part too. I mean, at least for me. Actually, I won't say it here. I don't think I should.
Why?
Well, you know what? Actually, not for. But this isn't. But I hear that Tears of the Kingdom runs worse on your PC emulator
That's
than it would
funny.
on the Switch 2.
I mean, that makes sense though. But I don't know, man. I think
I don't
that
know.
I think people just they get too deep in the internet narratives, and I think that it's crazy to pretend that this isn't just a better platform because you get or we've gotten so far.
No,
There's
I rather be on a Switch 2 platform than a Switch 1 platform.
same
Okay, any day of the week. Any day of the week. I
same.
like there are games on the Switch 1 that I would pay like a little some money if they had an upgrade.
Yeah,
If there was an upgrade path.
that's what I was gonna
I
say. There is
wish.
there's the one negative of like it's not really full backward compatibility because a some games just outright don't work because this is like a it's like a middle ground. It's like you get emulation layers more or less for Switch games. It's not like hardware backward compatibility. So there's some games that like look worse if you play them on handheld because of the 1080p screen, but it was a 720p game and it might not, it might be locked to like 480 or depending on what the game is. So some games on Switch 2 look worse than they did on Switch 1. But if we're doing that compare
Well,
that
it's
apples to oranges situation, it's like, well, you
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
even play Wii U games other than the ones that were $60 ports on your Switch 1. So
Well, that's a console problem
yeah,
all across the that's an Xbox problem.
right,
That was a PlayStation big time problem.
yes,
Well, that's also because their architecture for the PS3 was a goddamn nightmare.
yeah, rocket science.
It was goddamn rocket science. Bro, didn't like some military buy a bunch of
Yes,
PS3s?
yeah, but they were doing that for
Well, a
PlayStation 2s
whole
too.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's nuts. Instead of just going to the manufacturer to go, hey, we need this many CPUs, let's just buy a bunch of PS3s instead.
because it was absolutely cheaper to buy the PlayStation 3 because Sony was
Yep.
taking the hit for it. So it was cheaper to buy the PlayStation 3s. And
So essentially, them doing that, Sony lost that on money.
yeah,
That's funny.
they lost for and don't quote me on this because this is like freaking telephone information, game of telephone information, but allegedly, PlayStation 3, like the money that PlayStation 3 lost nearly wiped out the profits from PlayStation 2, which is crazy. So it was just like, yeah, okay.
What?
Yeah,
Yo, that's crazy.
it's insane. It's insane. But yeah,
would that have been true for the Wii U with the Wii profits?
I think so, but no, because so
What? Real? Maybe
So it
because they
sounds
didn't
like
manufacture enough.
yeah, but also software sales on Wii U aren't that bad. Like the thing about
Yeah, that's true. I didn't buy a lot of Wii U, but I bought a chunk. Like
the thing
six.
about the PlayStation 3 in comparison to really any Nintendo platform, is PlayStation 3, they were selling it at a loss. They were like taking a hit to not give people sticker shock, and they still did because it was still $600. But the Wii U, they're making money on the Wii U. It was like it's not as much as they traditionally would make on a console. And I'm sure that like
OG PS3.
I'm sure they didn't like fully recoup on like R&D, like just based off of like the games that they sold.
Also, to be fair too, PS3 had the worst goddamn lineup of games on at launch.
Yeah,
It's
very bad.
They were terrible.
It's very
Terrible
bad.
fucking
PlayStation
game.
3 was like a sleeper hit because like at the end of the day, like it ended up eking out Xbox 360 in sales because Xbox 360
because they started releasing bangers.
yes, especially in America, Xbox 360 was like it was PlayStation now.
I'm gonna go play Let's Dance and do Han Solo dances on Kinect. That's gonna be my no.
Yeah,
Kinect was the worst thing they ever. I don't even know what direction they started going.
They
essentially
saw
signed
Wii.
their death warrant.
They saw Wii and they were like, we want that, but they didn't understand that Wii was even a short-sighted thing. Like they didn't even fully think out what they were going to do with Wii. Because if you look at Wii U, like obviously they didn't fully understand why Wii was successful and why Wii U couldn't sell to those same people because now smartphones exist and that like the little quick dopamine hit that you got from Wii Sports.
The Wii got in at the perfect
Yeah.
freaking time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The perfect time. It was 2006, right?
Yes.
2006.
Yep.
Okay. Because
I,
smartphones
it
existed
was a
for
year
sure,
before
but
the
not
iPhone.
to this.
It was a year before the iPhone. The iPhone changed it all.
Even then, yes, the iPhone definitely changed it all. But the original iPhone, did you ever like play with the original iPhone? Like
Yeah,
when it first came
it
out?
was bad. It was like other smartphones. It was like a BlackBerry where like it didn't have apps.
There was only one.
There was no app store.
Useful. There was two useful apps on that thing, which was YouTube and the web browser, pretty much.
Yep.
And your camera, I guess that was it.
Yeah.
So there was no games.
And the camera was
that.
bad. Like the camera didn't have a lot of like useful.
No,
it didn't have like
but that's
tap
not
to
even the
focus
point.
yet.
That wasn't
like,
even. Yeah. It was also it was your iPod too.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was your original. So 2006, 2007, even 2008, people were like still excited to play games, or not excited, but were still willing to play games on the couch and stuff.
Yeah.
They got it right at the perfect time. And then it tapered off, I believe. The Wii tapered off at the end.
It did, like 2010-ish, it tapered off. It was like, all right, we're
people are over it. They were over it. And that was it. And the PS4
and that's when Connect was like, oh, 2010, we can get in on this Wii thing. No, and that's when people stopped caring. Yeah, that's when people stopped caring. So it was
it's like Xbox thought like, oh, the Wii is not selling anymore. Let's sell them a powerful console that does what the Wii does. And people like, no.
It's like, oh yeah, the power is what people cared about on that.
No, they were trying to get the casual audience.
Right.
And here's the problem. The casual audience does not give two.
They don't care about power.
Two shits. They do not. They don't care
at all. I remember my friend's dad. He's like a pretty big gamer, and like a pretty big gamer in the pretty traditional sense, where he does like he puts a lot of value in power. So like when the Kinect was coming out, he's like, I'm telling y'all, the Kinect is going to sell so much because it's just the Wii but more powerful. And I was like, you're delusional. I was like, that's just not gonna happen. And he's like, look at the technology.
Toy, bro.
He's like, look at the technology. Like, it's so cool how it works. And I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, the average consumer does not care about that.
They lied about the technology.
They don't care about that at all. Yo, but not scientists, surgeons, they were using the Kinect, man. They were using it. They actually were, but that's a.
They did lie about like certain things.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
They lied about the Tony Hawk game. They lied about like freaking what was it, the AI buddy that you were supposed to have, the non-existent.
Yeah, that game. I mean that platform, I guess, question mark. Another tangent. Anyway, Switch 2, great first year. Switch 2 is killing it, man. Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the future. I wanted to find like a article that like gave us a rundown of like
just want, dude, here's my thing, okay? And I know some people might be different. I just want, for right now, I just want fun games that run reasonably well.
Yes.
That's it.
That's where I'm at.
Give me fun games that run reasonably well.
Is there any?
I play on PC, sure, but 60 frames on a game or smooth, even if
just works. Just like if it's a 30 frames per second game, stay at 30.
Is it? Yeah, if it's a solid 30 and it doesn't skip and it's a bit smooth, fine. If it's fun, well, who cares? Not everything has to be competitive fucking esport where my game has to be at 2,000 frames or whatever it is.
I just genuinely don't care how a game runs on another platform that I'm not playing it on. I only care if it's affecting the experience that I am actively having. and so far, the only like every Switch 2 game with the exception of Shadows when it crashes, it's no different than if I was playing it on.
I've seen Cyberpunk. I've seen Cyberpunk being played.
Yeah, same.
And like that, it runs pretty freaking well.
Yeah. I found the upcoming games. I'll give a quick rundown.
I think it run better than it does on the Steam Deck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
So January, We get this is just tentative. Like obviously, there's going to be other stuff that gets added to the different months and stuff like that. But the things that Nintendo has officially listed on their site for upcoming games in 2026, the next 6 months, we got Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Uh,
Nice.
I'm a Mario Tennis Fever in February. There's other games, but like those are like
Dude, I love
Yakuza.
Mario
And
Tennis. Aces was a bit of a disappointment, but
yeah,
I
I didn't
played
like
it.
tennis.
I played a good chunk of it.
I'm
I wish I
hoping.
could see how many out.
I think that what they need to do is they make sure that they nail the multiplayer experience and the online multiplayer experience and the single player experience, because I think that the Switch era, it either did well, actually no, like a lot of them didn't do either of the things good enough. I don't think any of the Nintendo Switch era Mario sports games were good enough at doing what makes them valuable. Like those games are games that need to compete in real world scenarios with Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. If I have a group of people come to my house and they want to play video games and they specifically pick the Nintendo Switch, they're not going to go to a Mario sports game. It's going to either be Mario Kart or or Smash Brothers. They could
Or
compete
party.
if those games were better, but they're
Yeah.
just not. So I'm hoping that Tennis Fever does a better job at making people want to play it, because the Tennis Aces was not. It didn't scratch that itch.
I don't know if we talked about this. You probably did already, but like, I think did you mention Mario Party? Did you mention it?
No, because I
Oh,
mean that came out in 2018 on Switch,
okay,
so
okay,
there was no reason to mention that when we talked about the Switch games. Um,
okay, okay.
and we don't have well, we have Mario Party Jamboree, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I didn't play that.
Uh,
How was that? Because I know you played it on stream, right?
hmm,
Or did you? Seems like a game you would play.
it could. I'm gonna be honest.
Hmm.
They added, I think it was how many new mini games? They added like maybe 20. I gotta look it up. They handed it a bit of mini games, and there's no like some of the I guess some of the camera mini games are exclusive, I guess, to just playing couch co-op.
Mm,
I think it was like the Bowser mode or whatever.
that's
And
weird.
then the other one was just added a camera and certain mini games, like mouse mini games to the roster, which was like 7.
So it added the
And they
camera.
charge
Did the camera do anything?
I'm gonna be honest, it made it hilarious. Like it's great for content
Okay,
or like with your friends just to see
right.
like
Which I mean,
their head
I
spin
think
when
that's
they get
valid.
screwed
I think that's
over.
valid. But I was more so asking, like, does it do anything gameplay? Like, is it connect?
They added 4 mini games to that to the camera one,
Mm.
and you can't play them
Oh yeah,
online
so
with
that's
your
the local
friends.
ones that you were talking about.
Yes, they're
I think
only
so.
local.
So that's the thing about the sports games that I was talking about too, right? And I'm including Nintendo Switch Sports in this as well.
Mhm.
Um, there, a lot of them are like that, where like they lock a lot of the value behind either playing locally or playing online, and that's so dumb. It's just let me play
And
everything whichever
here's
way.
the thing. Here's the thing. Like they charge $30 for it,
I thought it was 20.
and or was it 20?
I think it was 20.
20. It could have been a free update.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could have been a free update.
The
Just saying.
the thing I'll say,
There's no way. There's no shot. They took months and months of development for that crap.
yeah, absolutely not.
There's no freaking way.
The thing I'll say is like the Nintendo Switch 2 editions are very hit or miss. I think that they dropped the ball. Overall, they dropped the ball in Nintendo Switch 2 editions because they could have been really cool, but they didn't. They kind of just feel like so before Switch 2 came out, before Switch 2 was even called Switch 2 for sure. I made a video about games that I wanted and or thought was going to come to Nintendo Switch 2 by the end, by June 2026, right?
Hmm.
So I had a section that was essentially Nintendo Switch 2 editions that we didn't know existed yet. Like we didn't know Nintendo Switch 2 edition was a thing. But I was like, I think that they're going to do, like, even though it's probably going to be backwards compatible, even if it is, I still think that they're going to find ways to re-release certain, like Breath of the Wild. They want to have the Breath of the Wild logo in the launch window of Nintendo Switch 2. There's no way that they're not going to do that. And I talked about how I wanted them to go about doing something like that. Like, I thought it would have been really cool if they, which this would have took a lot of development time for them to do, for what it's worth. But I wanted them to make like a definitive edition, like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, like stitched together thing, you know, where it's like it's the same, more or less the same content. Maybe they have some additional content to bridge the gap, but it's all in one game instead of it being two separate SKUs. That's what I wanted them to do. And like there was a lot of ideas that were similar to that, where it was like,
yeah, but how much would they charge for that?
I mean, $80 probably. But
and also can both those games fit on a card?
No, absolutely not. Well, yes. I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the how many gigs is
so I say yes because it's not like in this scenario it wouldn't just be them, like it's not the Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV or whatever, where it's like you open it and then there's two different things and you select one or the other. Like in this scenario, it was like literally them developing, like putting the like in engine, like stitching the games together as one game. And them doing that, they could do optimizations to the storage to make the game smaller, like them independently, right? Hold on, let's see. Switch 2 edition for Tears of the Kingdom is 19.9 gigabytes. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. They could both fit on one cart if they just put them together like that. But I don't even think that they should have did it like that. I want to go back, spin the block on the games that we know of so far, and run through them. We got Pokopia coming out in March. We got Yoshi in the Mysterious Book and Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition Plus Meetup in Bell Park coming out in spring. There's no specific day. And then more vague 2026 release, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and then TBD, but probably 2026, Splatoon Raiders. So that's what we know for the future as of today, December 6, 2025.
You know what I'm curious about?
What's up?
When is Dustbloods coming out?
Oh yeah, that's also 2026.
Yeah,
but that's not on here. Why is that not on here? They're publishing that.
Well, it's not in the next 6 months then.
But neither is Splatoon.
Oh,
but yeah,
but
yeah, it's probably. I don't.
Just as 2026. Yeah. I wish I knew.
Yeah, I'm interested in that game. I want to play that.
It's an exclusive third-party FromSoft game.
Yeah, which is insane.
It is, however, this is very different from like Dark Souls or any of the other games they made. Like it's similar but different.
Yeah, I know. That's a big reason why I care.
It's PvPvE.
Yeah, I love PvPvE. PvPvE. Yeah. I've been saying PvPvE a lot these past couple weeks because Kirby Air Riders.
I'm curious. I mean, that's like I've been playing a lot of PvPvE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Recently.
Arc Raiders. That PvP.
Yeah. A lot of it. But I've been having fun with the game. But it's also a quiet taste, I think. Another
thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of like the comparison that people talk about, where it's like I see like IGN, they did this they do next gen console watch or whatever, and they graded the first 6 months of Nintendo Switch 2, and they said that there weren't as many heavy hitters because Switch 1 had Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, it's crazy to call Breath of the Wild the heavy hitter in the context of that time, because Zelda was not Zelda until after Breath of the Wild. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza, for example, is within striking distance of where Breath of the Wild was in terms of sales, like time aligned. So to discount a game like Donkey Kong Bonanza is like, well, that's not a heavy hitter, and use Breath of the Wild and be like, well, it is a heavy hitter. It's only because now the game came out in 2017 and it's at 30 million copies or whatever, right? But that's 7 years down the line. Donkey Kong Bonanza 7 years down the line is going to be a 20+ million unit seller, and I will put a lot of money on that.
Oh, I wonder how much it's going to sell with like Switch 2 during the holiday seasons.
I think that they're gonna what was the number? 3.40 something million.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're gonna at least be at 6 million by the end of the holidays. Maybe even
Okay.
more than that. And I think by the first year mark, I could see Donkey Kong Bonanza being at 10 million.
The only thing actually good question here. How many sales did World get?
What, Mario Kart World?
Yeah.
Almost 10 million. But people
Oh,
discount that
it's
because of the
outpaced.
bundle. Yeah, it's significantly outpacing every game. Yes, like, but people say because the bundle, they're not counting that, which I
Because
think is
it has an
ridiculous.
attached.
I think that's crazy because people are spending $500 to play Mario Kart, and people spent
Well,
$360.
yeah, it's an extra $50.
Yeah, exactly. And people
It's
spent
not like it comes with every default Switch 2 at launch.
exactly. Exactly. So it's like people are making very intentional decision to buy this game. And
Also, to be fair, I couldn't when it at launch. I couldn't get Mario Kart Worlds bundle. I had to buy it separate.
that almost happened to Colton. But then they actually ended up giving him the bundle and he just didn't know that he had the bundle. But yeah, I think that to me it's impressive. I think people, again, the online narratives, people try to do mental gymnastics of like, well, people didn't actually want Mario Kart World, they just got it because FOMO and they didn't want to spend the extra $20 or whatever. And it's
Dude,
like,
I mean, like, you want to criticize Nintendo, fine, sure.
yeah,
There's plenty of criticism to go around for Nintendo, okay, but to argue
it's
like
just
this
not a valid
point,
one. Like for me, it's like,
no,
yeah, there you can critique them all day, like, but
there's plenty.
to
There's
make up
plenty, but
things to criticize them for, I think is stupid. It's just like, I don't know. It feels lazy and annoying, and I think that Mario Kart World being a bundle is a stupid thing to split hairs over because 9 million units of anything is crazy. So like, and
I don't
6 months,
know.
less than 6 months, because this is as of September, I think. Let me double check. Which, that, you know what, that's also another important thing that we need to mention is the numbers that we have for Nintendo Switch 2 are outdated. Like we don't actually have like life to date uh sales for Nintendo Switch 2 games because we only have their quarterly earnings to go off of. And the last
Mm,
quarterly earnings was as of September 30th, I think. Yeah, as of September 30th, 2025. So these aren't even their numbers 6 months later. These are their numbers 3 months later.
mm-hmm. There's
So
probably
they
more.
could already be higher than that. Like Mario Kart World's definitely over 10 million units sold. I would guess like 12, 13. Donkey Kong Bonanza, like I said, it's probably at like 6 if I had to guess. 6, maybe 7.
Bonanza was awesome.
I agree. It's the best
I can
console.
critique
It's
it
the
for
best
sure,
game on
but
the
I
console
had
so far.
a crap load of fun on that game.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's Switch 2. There's other stuff that we need to talk about though.
Uh,
Not that many, not that much. First thing, and I know you're going to have thoughts on this. So, well, actually, no. Let's stay on the Switch 2 stuff, more Switch 2 specific stuff, kinda. Metroid Prime. We're both playing Prime
okay.
4.
Mhm.
First, I wanna mention that a lot of studios worked on this video game that we did not know worked on this video game. I don't want
Wait,
to read
really?
them
They
all off.
probably had to save it because this thing was in development. Goddamn
It
hell.
just took a long time to make the video game. Obviously, Retro Studios, Next Level Games is another studio that people would know. They made Luigi's Mansion 3. Virtuos, they do a lot of Switch ports. Is there any other noteworthy studios that people care about?
Really? It had that many people work on this?
Yeah, there's a lot. Did you see the article that I linked? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 20 additional, well, 19 not counting Retro Studios, game studios that are listed in the special, the special thanks for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is insane.
That's actually insane.
It's crazy.
That's a lot
It's so many
of
people.
studios.
I just don't get.
When did they announce Prime 4?
2017. Yeah. They announced it.
Dude,
like they announced it and Pokemon in the same Nintendo Direct, I believe. And that Pokemon ended up being Let's Go. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. And
8 years, 8 freaking years.
And it's because it restarted development. It's because it restarted development. So it was like they spent like 2-3 years on the game with Bandai Namco Singapore, which they purchased. And then they canned that. I don't know. They're like, we don't know why. We don't know. Just like, this game's not paying out the way you wanted to pan out. And Retro Studios said they want to do it, so they restarted it. And this is the game that we have now. But this game, it just feels so weird having played it, because how many hours are you in right now? I'm like 4-ish hours in.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
And this game does not feel like a game that you spent, which again, they didn't spend 8 years making the game. It took 8 years for the game to come out. They spent X amount of years making a version of Metroid Prime 4 that no longer exists, and then they restarted the game, and then it took them like 4 or 5 years to make that.
Well, it's starting to make a little bit more sense, I guess, but
yeah,
with these many studios that made the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First off, I played through the other three Prime games recently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, out of all 4 of the games so far, I don't want to give it my final judgment on Prime 4 yet, because I'm gonna beat the game first. But out of all of them, Prime 1 is probably the best one.
I hear that.
I don't know if that's a wild take.
Did you play? So when you played Prime 1, did you play remastered or did you play the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played remastered, and
then you played the trilogy. Are you playing the trilogy? Are you playing? What are you doing for 2? What did you do for 2 and 3?
For 2 and 3,
yeah.
I played the trilogy on the Wii.
Yeah.
I played that, and they were good. They were fine games. 2 was like a lot more of 1, or was very similar to 1, but just like a lot of the stuff were worse, I feel like. 3,
you're like out of frame.
Oh, I'm out of frame?
Yeah, now you're back in frame. If you move that way, if you move in that direction.
3 is like an action game, dude. 3 is an action game. I felt like I was playing Halo.
Yo, that's a W.
No, it wasn't. It was not, because it was It was like Temu Halo, and it was worse. but like, also, it's not an FPS.
Was the combo? Was the combat bad? And then 3? Because I don't like the combat in this game. I think the combat sucks, and I hate it.
3's combat was trivialized by because Samus would transform.
Transform into what?
And you can like one-shot stupid enemies real quick.
Okay.
The boss fights were fun though. Some of the boss fights were really fun.
How would you say the combat compares to this video game? Is more or less what I'm asking. Because I don't like the combat in this game.
So far, the combat is, similar to all the other ones.
Okay, so the combat sucks. This game is a GameCube game, which some people that's like that's their wet dream. They've been begging for that for GameCube games over and over again.
This is a yes, but also it has some cool things too. Like you can, when you're aiming down, like when you're locked in, you can like use motion controls to like.
Yeah, that's true. That's how I've been playing.
Mouse mode,
that's how I've been playing it, is mouse mode. Well, I've been playing pretty evenly split between handheld and docked. But when I'm playing docked, I play mouse mode. When I'm playing handheld, I use motion. And I use motion like Splatoon kind of.
I'll be so honest, okay? And this is
You don't like
I
mouse mode?
have a problem. Yeah, I don't like it, and I'm a PC guy. I
Hmm.
like playing mouse and keyboard.
Hmm. What's wrong with
There's
it?
a big reason why.
Hmm.
I don't like pressing buttons while I'm whatever I'm using to aim. Like I don't like to press a shit ton of buttons like that,
What,
especially if it's uncomfortable.
well, what are you
Like
pressing?
like when I'm like this, when I'm
Yeah,
holding the like
because
this.
you can do so. You can jump on. I think jump is R, and then like use when I'm using mouse mode and I'm fighting something. For the most part, the buttons that I'm using the most are the
I
triggers.
I wouldn't even care about using this if I had a keyboard in my left hand or something in my left hand where all the other buttons were there and the movement was there or whatever. I'd be fine. It's also the like.
I think you can.
I mean, can you hold the controller in your left hand like this and then use the mouse mode like that, like just like that?
Yeah,
So, all right, that's fine. But also in the right hand, when like there's a bunch of buttons for that you have to use, no, like to jump.
you jump with R. That's the trigger.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Why?
using left click or whatever, left and right click.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like that. No,
So
my brain can't process that.
here's the thing, right? That's valid because you like mouse and keyboard. You use mouse and keyboard. I hate mouse and keyboard.
I love mouse.
So for me, this is like an ideal situation because I like the movement of using a controller more, but I recognize that using a mouse is more accurate. So I get
Look,
both of those things.
I've had like on my I had like a gamepad thing for my left hand where I would could use a joystick to for movement, but my aim would always be a mouse.
Okay.
It's just odd. I can't. It's like
I think that
I
makes
can't be
sense.
pressing right click to jump in a game. It would drive
That's
me
what I'm saying.
insane.
I think that makes sense because it's informed by what you are used to and what you like doing. And same for me. It's like I don't like mouse. I hate mouse and keyboard would make me never play a game. If that's the only way to play, I will never touch that game ever. But in this scenario, again, I get what I recognize is you because I'm using a mouse all the time. I'm a goated mouse user. So I can click things fast, man. But the keyboard for controlling my character, nah, I'm good off that. So
I do it all the time.
I hate it. I hate WASD. WASD. I hate it.
Hey, back in the day, it was people didn't use WASD. They used something
The,
worse.
the arrow keys.
The arrow keys.
Yes, what I'll play.
And it wasn't until a Quake.
I
I think it
had
was a
the
Quake tournament,
Windows
someone came in
2000.
using WASD.
I'm like, that's the other part about it. We talked about it, I think, but I played on PC as a child. I always had a PC in my house until like high school, and then I got my first Mac, and I was like, why do I play games on this thing? I was like, games suck on a computer, and then I just doubled down in the console. Which I always had consoles too, but I also played games on PC.
I always played consoles when I was growing up. I played a little bit of PC games, but it was mostly console because it was just bang for your buck. It was better for me at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I bought really an Xbox One, and I'm like, I hate this. I hate everything about this. And yeah, I bought a PC.
Yeah, no.
There was also an MMO I wanted to play on the PC, and ended up being one of the worst MMOs I've ever played in my entire life.
That's funny.
Which was ESO Online. I'll stand by that. One of the worst MMOs I've ever played.
That's Elder Scrolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was like, wait, what was
It's
that?
not a good Elder Scrolls game. It has great lore in it, but it's not a great Elder Scrolls game, and it's not a great MMO. So what's left?
Do people still play that game? Do people like that game?
Yeah, people play that game.
I didn't know people still play that. I know people play Fallout 76. I know people like that game.
It's also ESO isn't an action. I think it's an action MMO, which is also not bad. I don't like the game. I don't like how the roles work or anything like that.
That's fair. But yeah, Metro Prime 4. I don't I don't like mouse and keyboard, but I do like the mouse mode in this video game. But I don't like the combat in this video game because it feels like a GameCube game in the sense that like they try to like their mechanics like the not mechanics. Well, yeah, the little like gameplay mechanics that they introduce where it's like, "Oh, well, we want you to explore this aspect of the combat and the boss fight and stuff like that." They overstay their welcome and it's annoying how they go about enforcing it. Like it
So,
feels like it punishes you if you don't like if you don't scan the enemy and read the direct clue of like
oh, you're
do
screwed.
this
But
very
that's
specific thing.
it's been like that
I
since
know, that's what
one.
I'm saying. It's a GameCube
It's been
game.
like that since one.
It's a GameCube
One.
game.
Yep.
So,
So like immediately, I like off the rip when I'm playing the game because I just played all through 3, all 3 of them.
right.
I'm literally just scanning every little goddamn thing.
Same. I am too.
And here's the thing. I hate it, dude.
Yeah,
I hate scanning everything.
yes, same. I hate it.
It's one thing if I had like a wide scan range, like in the other Metroid games. You wind up getting an item like Super Metroid and even Dread where you can just scan the room you're in. But
Well,
remember, the room, not individual stuff.
do
At least in Dread, it was the room.
I don't know if there's an item like that in this game or not because I'm only 4 hours in, so I can't complain about
No,
that.
in none of the Prime games, in none of them.
Well, I mean, still, maybe they did. Who knows?
That would be cool because then I can get all the information I need. So instead of sitting there scanning this one thing for like 5, 6 seconds or whatever, how long it takes to find out what the enemy is or whatever, I could just press left, again and find out what it is.
The way I think about this game, and I think that Metro, like the Prime franchise, and I don't know, maybe you can confirm or deny with how you feel because I played Prime 1. I tried playing the remaster again, but the visually it was just like, nah, there's not enough contrast. I can't see what you want me to do in this specific part of the video game. But 2 and 3 I played a little bit on GameCube and Wii, obviously. But I never like fully went through and played them.
Well, in one, there's like a section. Eventually, I think you need to use like thermo scanner or whatever, like so you can
I didn't
see
even get
dark.
that far in
Oh,
when I played remaster. It was like literally like the opening area was just like I can't see. It's too dark.
okay.
But it feels like Zelda. It's like they made Metroid Ocarina of Time sort of experience, and this game feels like that. But it's like the Elseworld where Breath of the Wild was a Tears like not Tears was a Twilight Princess sequel. Like it was like this game plays like the old games that you guys like a lot, and it's prettier, and it's like a bigger world.
So the game controls similar, but so far, like the combat's very similar to I would say 1
Mm-hmm.
right now. It's very similar to 1.
Right.
I would say I think my biggest problem right now it's just I feel like the enemy designs, or not the enemy designs, the enemy encounters, the fights themselves are more. They're just very bland.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. The boss fights are interesting. They're decent. They're fun, but you have to scan them. And if you don't, you're screwed.
I hate that. Stupid.
Also, there's a good. Also, a lot of the times when I'm in a boss fight, I don't scan. Because I know I just got a new item. Use this,
Yeah.
and it's just that, and it's like Zelda in that sense.
Yes.
But the level design, at least the area I'm in right now, so freaking linear. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it barely branches off. Like even Prime 3 had. It was a very like certain levels were expansive, so I'm hoping that it's like that at least. But like Prime 1, the level design I feel like was very good. I don't know. I really liked the level design somewhat. At least if you played the original, where it's not you can see.
Right.
But in this one, it's just I don't know. It feels really linear. Like there's I don't know. The exploration is all on the bike. We were talking about this before.
Yeah, the bike.
The exploration is all on the bike, and that can be fine if it had like if the overworld was interesting. If you and now people might get pissed off about this. It feels like Wind Waker's fucking Wind Waker's
The
overworld.
boat, yeah.
The boat, dude. It was
Yeah. But
stupid.
that's what I'm
It was
saying.
so
It's this is just
stupid.
it's a Zelda game. And there's part of me that's like, you heard of it. You're in the Nintendo community. You heard people talk about the Goomba fallacy.
No,
You
what
never
the
heard of
hell is the
this?
Goomba
You're so lucky.
fallacy?
You're so lucky. Oh my god.
Well, now
I
I'm not,
almost don't want to
apparently.
tell you. I almost don't want to tell you to keep you pure in your heart.
I want to know now.
So the Goomba fallacy is this idea that when people complain about things that people are complaining about hypocritically, they're really complaining about two different groups of people. But the thing about the internet is people have usernames and people create content that exist on the internet, and you could type into your search bar and you could see the things that they said about the thing 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and verify if what they're saying now aligns with what they were saying then. So okay. I'll say in this scenario, it's like, well, y'all wanted them to just keep making GameCube games, and then somebody be like, no, that's Goomba fallacy, different people. And it's like, no, objectively, there are people that are like, yo, I wish Breath of the Wild was just Twilight Princess 2, and since they reinvented the wheel on it, I hate this game. And now that Metroid Prime 4 is Metroid Prime 4, you know, it's just another Zelda game.
I'm in the camp where like I don't care, like for at least Zelda. Mm-hmm. I really like the freedom formula a lot.
Yeah, like, and that's where I'm at. And I think that just in general, every other like long dormant Nintendo franchise, even if it hasn't been dormant, the Nintendo Switch era has done something to fundamentally change it.
I think what people might like, the only thing I would have liked mm-hmm. is maybe like a more cohesive,
but yeah.
Cohesive like a cutscene.
Yeah, like a story situation. Yeah,
because like you have to put it together, and that's like some people like that. I mean, Elder Scrolls is like that. You don't get the full story unless you explore the hell out of the game.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again, but I think storytelling in general in games is alpha mode. We're still in the silent film era with video game stories. I don't need cutscenes the way that they are. I agree that they're not done.
We actually had this discussion.
I agree that they're not done well in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but I think there's a better way to do it than just doing what they used to do. And I'll say I prefer it this way because I think that the gameplay is allowed to evolve because it's not shackled to this like linear structure of the storytelling specifically. And I don't even necessarily think that Metroid Prime 4 needs to be Breath of the Wild specifically, but it feels like a waste that it's not different.
Dude. Here's my thing with Metroid Prime, at least. Mm-hmm. Okay. This, at least it's, you know, where this game comes from. Normal Metroid.
Yeah.
Right? Metroid / Castlevania spawned an entire genre of game.
Yes.
Okay. Metroidvanias.
Yep.
The obvious to me, people can argue against it, but to me, the obvious transition to 3D, like a genuine 3D kind of atmosphere, not like a side scroller thing.
Yeah.
For a Metroidvania, is in the direction of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know?
Yes.
That's the direction of it.
Yeah, because they're more or less Metroidvanias. Like,
okay. This should have been, it doesn't have to be Dark Souls.
It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be like the
it should have been a internet goddamn Metroidvania, dude.
Yes. I agree.
It would have been fine. Especially if it's a single player experience, because this is what this is. Mm-hmm. It should have had it should have been a Metroidvania, like a difficult game where there is backtracking, but if like I don't like when you're playing like through Dark Souls or any of these games, like at least like the newer ones, the backtracking is not terrible. It's decent, like especially Elden Ring. And then but it kind of like the level designs kind of, they all mesh together well. It
Yeah,
doesn't look like, things don't seem like it's so out of place, or like I'm traveling a billion miles across to get to the next section of the game. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also the combat, it's fun as hell. It's challenging, but it's
Oh, I
fun.
thought you were
There,
talking about Metro. Like combat sucks in
no,
this game. I
no,
hate
I'm talking about
it.
dark, like Elden Ring, Dark Souls,
Yeah.
shit like that.
I agree, but even like beyond that, like I agree. If I had to choose between a pre-existing thing, it should have like taken after Souls games. But
Or
I'm
like
just
You ever
disappointed
play
because
Revenant?
no, I don't even think I
Revenant
know
is
what
like
that is.
a shooter like Metroidvania
Mhm.
type scenario.
I just wish it was its own thing. Because Breath of the Wild, like it takes cues from a lot of different games. Like it takes cues from Skyrim, it takes cues from Portal, it takes cues from Minecraft, you know. But at the end of the day, it's its own thing, and it pushed the medium forward. Like now, games are trying to be it, and I
I
just
mean,
wish that
you can even
Metroid
argue like,
Prime was a moment
yeah.
like that, where like there's a reason for other games to look at it and want to try to be Metroid Prime 4. But Metroid Prime 4 is just literally Metroid Prime and not even a particularly good one from everything that I'm hearing, you know? Like I'm I'm like, I don't hate the game. The game is like fine, and I think a lot of it is because I have succumbed to the culture of like scan everything, you know. And like now that I go out of my way to scan everything, it's less frustrating in that Metroidvania kind of way. But I don't think it's like any more interesting than any other game. You know, like this game was not. This game being an 8 year wait is crazy because it's just a GameCube game.
Like I'm gonna be like legit. I think IGN IGN gave it an 8, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like they're either an 8 or a 7.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's
I
like
think it's like an 8 or a 7.
I
It's
would give
good. It's
I
just
would
good.
give it a 7 because it's
A
like it's
7.
a good game, but it doesn't do anything special or move the medium forward in any way. And like I think that that's important for a console manufacturer to do, and their biggest or one of their biggest studios, their only Western studio. Well, their only American studio, I guess technically now because they got
They
nice
didn't do
Sony
anything to
games and
push the
stuff like
medium.
that.
I also do think not every game needs to be this groundbreaking,
I
amazing
don't think
game.
every game needs to be
But
groundbreaking, but I think a game that takes 8 years for you to make it should be
yeah,
groundbreaking. It should. It just should. It just
yeah.
should. Like, and I think, and even with that, it's like I think for the most part, console manufacturers they need to be pushing the medium forward. There's certain studios like that. It's become their job to put like Rockstar, right? It's become their job to push the medium forward. Like that's just part of what they do. But then there's other
Yeah, but
studios that
they take
they take forever.
decades.
Yeah, they do.
To make
And
a game.
exactly. And that's more or less what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying every studio needs to be Rockstar, but I'm saying the Rockstars of the world, the Nintendos, the PlayStations, the Xboxes, for the most part, when they have these like big marquee games, it should do and say something that other games haven't done or said. Something, you know. I think that it's not
It should do
unreasonable.
something, push the medium forward,
Yes.
even if it's a genre that's been done before. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. And I think like they're also allowed to have their Mario Tennis Fevers or whatever, right? Like that game's not going to push the medium forward. I think that that's a safe bet, right? Yoshi in the Mysterious Book or whatever. It's probably not going to do much for
No,
the
those
medium.
are just. I think those are supposed to just be wacky games.
Yeah,
Dude.
which that's fair. But I don't think Metroid Prime 4 was like set up to be just another day at the office kind of game, you know?
No,
And
dude,
that's what it feels like. It feels like another day
I
at the office.
my direction for this game, it would have been way different. Also, another thing too, and I know it would. I kind of wish all the Prime games weren't in first person.
I'm not mad at that. I think that that's
I don't know.
fair.
Ever, if like
Perspective.
I really wish they weren't in first person because it's a Metroidvania, dude. It should be in third person. A first person Metroidvania is a cool concept if you could pull it off right.
Yeah,
But
I think that.
like,
So that's the thing, right? The only thing that they really did with the first person perspective is they made it a point and click in the sense where it's like, all right, scan everything.
dude,
You gotta find
it's a
everything to
point and click.
scan, and
I
that's what
wish,
they did with the
bro,
first person perspective.
We're at a point where literally we have mouse mode and we
Mhm.
have control. Put a small aim assist and just make it that, not a lock on.
Yeah, I agree. That's part of why I hate the combat. That's part of why I think the combat is stupid in this game.
It's just like we're at a point where, you know, your C stick isn't the a tiny little fucking
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
it feels like a GameCube game, and that's unfortunate. Because I mean, again, I don't hate this game. This game's fine,
It's
but
fine.
this isn't in my like game of the year considerations at all. All I have to say, the Metroid Prime 4 is fine. I wish that it was better, and I wish that it was revolutionary at least a little bit. I think it's reasonable for a game that
got our GameCube game back.
We did get our GameCube game back. Hurrah. Huzzah.
I'm so excited. It's not Melee, but it's Metroid Prime.
You nostalgia demons, here's your food. Eat up. But last thing, Netflix. They're in the process of buying Warner Brothers. Cringe. And that means that there's a lot of game studios. There's a lot of other stuff, but in the context of this podcast, the thing that matters is the game studios that they're in the process of acquiring. And there's a lot of things that they'll have licenses to, like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and DC Universe and Lord of the Rings, Mortal Kombat, Lego, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. This is whack. And I think I'm like kind of conflicted on this because like I acknowledge.
Why is this allowed to happen?
I mean, do you really want to know why it's allowed to happen?
I mean, we know, but like
he's orange.
Come on,
he's
man.
orange. But I think that's the thing that's crazy about this, because it's like with the Xbox acquisition, it was like a question. If it
How
was
much are they going to start charging now?
I don't know. But with the Xbox, when Xbox was buying all the studios, people were like, "Is this going to be allowed to happen?" Now it's not even like Warner Brothers can give Trump a couple $1 million, and he's going to let it go.
Dude, I was so against the Xbox acquisition. You have no idea. And people were actually like telling me I was crazy for saying
I was somewhere in the middle.
Oh,
I was somewhere in the middle because a lot of the studios that they bought, and I recognize now that they ended up just doing the same thing, and that's fair. Like, but a lot of the studios that they bought were already anti-consumer. They already hoarded a lot of the games that people want them to make, and Xbox was in this like redemption mode where they're like, we're bringing this game back and we're making this game better and blah blah blah. And at that time, it was like Game Pass is $10 a month and blah. But the fact that they like it went so downhill from there, it was like, oof.
I knew
that's fair
because it's Microsoft has a crappy track record. Okay, one of the worst I've ever seen.
I'm not a PC gamer, so I'm not.
It's not even just PC.
I'm not exposed to them that much.
Or if you're not a Windows guy, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not exposed to them because I haven't used Windows actively in 2 decades.
Grimy stuff for a while now, and also like. How am I supposed to trust a brand that did what they did with the 360? You had the gaming zeitgeist right under your nose, and
the Xbox One. Yeah, Xbox One, they cooked it.
You cooked it. Xbox. It started with the Kinect.
Yeah.
But they definitely cooked it with the Xbox One.
Yeah. I think it was like legit, the thing about
it,
like with the acquisition with Xbox at the time, I think Phil Spencer was looking a lot better in the eyes of the gaming public.
It doesn't for me in my brain it never matters, because if there's one man that just is in charge of all the decisions like that, that's not good either way. And B, you had someone had to approve the last guy's decisions, right? He couldn't have just been making that all on his own for the Xbox One when it came out. There's no
yes and no. I mean, it's kind of like an administration where the guy in charge puts other people in charge that make big decisions. You know.
But the my entirety of the point would be is just if they can get away with it, they will.
Yeah,
They'll do it.
absolutely. I
That's
agree.
it.
I agree with you. To be clear, I don't disagree, and I think that that's probably what's going to happen now. And I think that it's like it's the kind of thing where like both of these companies have not only a precedent, and I'm talking about Warner Brothers and Netflix. They have the precedent of like doing a lot of anti-consumer stuff. The thing that made it feel different at the time with Xbox is they were actively trying to be pro-consumer at the time. So it was like, well, maybe they're going to do the same kind of, again, at this time Game Pass was $10, blah blah blah, and all other kind of stuff, right? HBO Max has already gotten a lot of price increases. Netflix is what, like almost triple the price that it was when it first
No,
like,
streaming
came out.
sucks. Streaming
Yeah.
sucks.
Yes.
Streaming is the worst right now.
Yes.
Okay, it is net. I kind of miss. I risk of sounding like an unk right now, or a boomer. I kind of miss just having a DVD at this point, or just buying the movie or shows outright.
And I think that this merger, if it goes through, which like I said, it'll probably go through. They just give the Orange Man a couple $1 million, and it'll make it through. Everybody else is getting there.
I have problems with this.
With the
It's
acquisition.
like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too, but it's probably going to happen anyway. I hope that it doesn't, but I have very little faith that that antitrust laws work anymore.
Okay, so one you okay, hold on. Do a little research,
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'll say, I mean, as far as like on the gaming end, again, like to harken back to our other conversation, this doesn't affect me that much because I don't really play third party games. So like, I mean, I'll occasionally play the Lego games. So maybe I get clipped off that. Maybe they up the price of Lego video games.
Okay.
Um, mhm.
I mean, the gaming section they might, but like this acquisition, we all know it wasn't really for the gaming
Yeah,
side.
no, it was for HBO Max. It was for, I mean, I think that it's also for their IP because AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too. And this is where like is Netflix how much is Netflix worth like comparatively to like Microsoft?
Probably like I would say no more than 30% of what Microsoft is worth. But I probably like what, like a couple hundred billion?
400 billion.
Yeah, there we go.
I think Microsoft is worth way more.
Microsoft like 3 trillion or something.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like what if they get these, they acquire
3.59 trillion for Microsoft.
Yeah. This seems really great and all, but then all of a sudden they start locking down certain IPs and to licensing them out, like especially with video games.
They're absolutely going to do that. 100%.
Yeah, like we're locking this down. And it's going to be X amount of dollars. I mean, we just spent 90 billion almost. So you know what? We want like 100 million, 200 just to use the IP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're going to do that for sure. Well, I don't know if those numbers are going to go that crazy for using the IP in that regard. But I think that it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts in the same way that with Microsoft's acquisitions, Game Pass has gone up like $10 every time.
Microsoft shut down studios that won Game Awards.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yep.
They shut down studios that won Game Awards.
Yep.
Can't stand them, dude. And then also they're replacing most of their workforce with AI anyway.
Yeah. And but that's the thing about it too, where it's like a lot of these companies, it's just, I just feel weird about the whole thing. Because I think that this is a bad thing. It's a bad thing, period. But I don't think that the companies that we're talking about were generally good companies before the acquisition anyway. And this just kind of makes them worse.
Okay.
So yeah,
I guess.
cat. I think that like we could definitely expect to see price hikes and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how that's going to affect us on the video game front, if at all, but it will get hit elsewhere for sure.
Well, I will say this. Warner Brothers made the last like couple Batman games. Also the what was it? Did they make the Suicide Squad games? They
Yeah,
had
I
the
mean
rights
they
for that.
own that's their thing. Warner Brothers,
They've
DC
been they
Comics, they
I
own
feel
it.
like they've been dropping the ball with all those games recently.
Yeah,
So I don't know if
Warner Brothers
we'll
has
be in
been
the same
dropping the
position.
ball in general about everything, and that's kind of what I was saying. Where it's like all these companies that are getting purchased, like EA, right? Uh, Freaking Activision, like these are companies that people hated before they got acquired. So it doesn't even really feel like the set. Like if Nintendo got acquired, right? I think that would be crazy because there's a lot of things that they make and that they do that is on the pro consumer side, regardless of what the internet tries to say. Like a lot of the cheaper, higher quality games that we get, like they're literally the cheapest platform that we have access to right now. It is the current gen console that you spend the least amount of money on.
Dude, also
If
a lot
Microsoft bought that, it'd be over. Like,
yeah. A lot of stuff would be like like we were saying, oh, it was 8 years since we got Metroid Prime
yeah,
4. If Microsoft bought
they
it,
would
we would have
never make a
never
Metro
we
game ever
you
again.
would have never had Dread. How
How
about
long
that?
ago did they buy like Rare? And it's been what, a decade plus since we got another Banjo game.
Yeah, and it was a racing game, the last one, kind of.
Yeah, kind of nuts and bolts. Game's whack. But yeah, like these companies, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that I there's the thing where there was the silver lining at first, like I keep harkening back to with Microsoft. There was the idea that maybe they would be the company to be like, all right, let's use some of these dormant IP because we don't have any IP and we
No,
want to
have you seen
compete.
have you seen their track record?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like now, I understand that now, but then and when we were in this period, they were banging this drum of like we want to compete with PlayStation, we want to compete with Nintendo, and the thing that is setting them apart is their IP. So we want to build a stable of IP. So that made people think like, oh, okay, maybe we will get a new Banjo game. Maybe we will get a new Crash Bandicoot. Maybe we will get, like they'll make Bethesda Studios actually make games that work. you know, like there was a lot of those kinds of hopes where it's like these companies are already bad. Maybe this acquisition will make them better. But the thing about this is like both of these companies are kind of bad in the same way. So I don't even think there's that potential like delusion, even if it is, right? There's not even really
Mm.
that in the air for Netflix and Warner Brothers because both of them do the same kind of bad stuff.
Yeah, that I've been seeing like news about this acquisition. I just yeah, I hope it gets blocked. I probably won't, but
Yeah, I got no faith in that. That would be cool, but I have no faith in that.
mm-mm.
We got nobody that is even willing to do something like that. That's what happens when you run the country like a business, TM.
Yep, true.
So it's clipped. That's a bummer note to end the podcast on, but
Oh, no.
I don't think there's anything else that we want to talk about that's happier. Everybody like, comment,
Yep.
subscribe, follow Biscuits on Twitch. He'll upload a
Thank you for
YouTube
having
video
me.
eventually, of course, anytime. Okay, later, y'all.